right, we're going to cover some of the myths associated with anger. In order to keep the videos relatively short, I'm going to cover um, each myth in their own video. So we're going to start off with myth one, and these are taken from the anger management for substance abuse and mental health clients. First, I'm going to read a definition of myth from the Oxford Languages. Uh, a widely held but false belief or idea is one of the definitions as associated with myth. And the reason why I wanted to start off with the actual definition, because we're going to be talking about some of the myths associated with anger. So the thing about these myths associated with anger, a lot of people believe these to be true. Even some professional people once held the belief in some of these myths, as we will see as we continue. Anyway, the first myth uh, we talk about here is going to be the behavioral expression of anger is fixed and cannot be changed. Now, what that means is that however you decide to act out when you get angry, that's just the way you are and you can't change it. This is definitely something that I used to believe because I was always handled my anger inappropriately. So, and I just felt that's just the way I was. And people be like, well, why do you act like that? And I'm like, man, that's just how I am. That's just how I deal with, that's just how I deal with things. I can't change that. That's just who I am. But that wasn't true, right? I believed it to be true at the time, but that wasn't true, right? The behavioral expression of anger or how we act when after we become angry is learned behavior. There are things that we pick up throughout our life from people that we grow up watching, whether friends, associates, family members, older relatives, people that we respect. We watch them and we pick up the different lessons that they're teaching us, right? And they may not be organized like where they're sitting us down and intentionally trying to teach us something, but we're picking up these lessons from them, which is important to think about because we will also have people watching us, our children, younger people, nieces, nephews, and stuff like that, and they watch how we behave, and they're going to mimic that. And the old "do as I say, not as I do," that just doesn't work, right? We would like it to work, but it doesn't. So with this first myth, again, we can change how we act after we become angry, but it takes practice like anything else. So as we begin to learn different methods and techniques to um, handle our anger, we have to practice these on a regular basis. It's not something that we want to sit in, let's say if in an anger management class, for example, and you hear the instructor, tell you some techniques you can use, and you're like, oh yeah, I can understand that. Um, it's highly unlikely that you're going to use something that you haven't practiced. So we want to practice it the same way that we practice our other behavior, the toxic behaviors that we use to deal with our anger. We practice those for a long time, over years. We practice these different behaviors. We may not even realize that we were practicing them, just as we may not have realized that we were learning lessons from the people that we were observing. But nevertheless, they were practiced in our behavior. And the more we practiced them, the more solidified they became and the more second nature, right? It became habitual. Um, so now we're in the process of learning new habits and new ways of dealing with our anger. So anyway, that's myth one. Again, the behavioral expression of anger is fixed and cannot be changed. So this first myth, again, is something that is not true. We can change how we behave when we become angry, right? And again, what we get in trouble for is not the fact that we become angry. We get in trouble because we handle it inappropriately. Either we turn violent um, with the person and we cause somebody harm and end up having to go to prison or something, or we become very aggressive and verbally abusive to people, and in which case they tend to not want us around, right? Because who wants to be around someone that's going to treat them bad, yell, scream at them, cuss them out, use profanity, call them out of their name, and all these different things, right? No one wants to be around that. Even if there's someone that cares about us, they're not going to want to be around us if that's the way that we're acting with them. So we can change that behavior. So we have to find out what we need to do to change. For some of us, it may go a little deeper than just behavioral, because I mean, just as human beings, we have different things that affect us. So it could be some sort of chemical imbalance, and sometimes it's important to go and get checked out, like see if maybe there's something else, right? Something a little bit more deeper, mental health issue or something, right? And I know, especially for minority members, we are very hesitant to go and try to get any mental health assistance, right? And it's important because it can affect anyone, and none of us are immune to having mental health issues. So if you have issues with your anger or other self-control issues, and you've been doing things, maybe you've been taking classes or doing other things to try to get these things under control, and nothing seems to work, or you seem to do good for a while but you always seem to fly off the handle, it would be advisable to go get help and go get possibly a diagnosis. Sometimes medication can help. Again, it's something that a lot of us don't want to deal with. We don't want to deal with the medication. We feel that there's certain stigma involved with getting a mental health diagnosis, but there's absolutely nothing wrong. It's an illness, just like any other illness. And when you need help, you need help. And if you don't get help, it's going to get increasingly worse, right? And it's going to cause more problems in your life. It's going to ruin more relationships with your family members or your significant other and stuff like that. So we definitely want to get help with that. Um, and it's not just the behavior. So we want to learn how to process these things differently, which we'll get to in future videos. Changing our way of looking at the situation, changing our perspective on the situation is very important. We don't want to just let's say stop acting out with the negative behavior, but then internalize all of this anger and aggression, because eventually that's gonna go bad, right? And it's not gonna work out well for us. So if you need help with your anger, definitely go and get checked out. But we can change the behaviors associated with our anger, but it's something that's going to take time. Anyway, as I said, I wanted to keep this really short. So hopefully you can get some benefit from this video. If you found any benefit from the video, please like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe, possibly even share it. I definitely need the subscribers. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. That's all for now. We'll get to myth 2 next.